water a day opposed to Lincoln Power. Whenever that MOU was done back in, I think it was 2011, the intent was to serve all of Cumberland County and not a corporation that makes harm on the environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, excuse me, next item is consent agenda. Ms. Branch.
Your items on your consent agenda for tonight are your approval of your monthly bills, as well as your approval of your minutes from the June 9th and the June 24th, 2026 board meeting.
Okay. So the motion is to approve approval of bills, excuse me, and approval of the minutes, which are two sets, June 9th and June 24th. Board members, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree? Aye. Mr. Spencer?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders? Aye.
And next on the agenda, state and local department agencies, community service provider reports, starting with Cumberland Fire and EMS. And is Mr. Hurley here? Yep. Darren Hurley. All right, Bob, show and tell.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, members of the board, good evening. Glad to be here to speak to you. It's been a little while. I figured to bring some items in to show you the power of grants and what they can do for us. So I'd like to start real quick with some of our statistics, as we normally do. Basically, we've got 2024 statistics for all fire and EMS responses on the top chart. And then the next one down is 2025. It was basically a 10% increase in call volume for both fire and EMS between those 2 years. This is a statistic from January to June of this year showing about the same trend. It's level where it's at right now, but with the increase of single family dwellings and businesses here in the county, obviously it's going to be more calls for service. In 2024, there was 101 single-family dwellings that were approved and built through the planning department. In 2025, there was 87. These are currently approved and projected, the ones that are listed there at the bottom of the slide, which will be a total of 52. That's new construction. So this slide here, we always talk about what's in red. It's what we won through grant applications and processes, which really gets me excited that we won these. It's a lot of background work. And I just wanted to mention a couple of those that we've won in the last couple of months. Every year we get an award from Virginia Department of Emergency Management. This year it's $1,000. That's for radiological equipment related to the north end of the power plant. Cartersville was awarded 1 pallet of drinking water in small cans. It's for rehabilitation. There's no value placed on that unless you went to Sam's or Costco and bought that. So it's probably literally a couple $100 worth of award. It's 2,352 cans, and we use it for rehabilitation. You fill a form out. Usually they award one of the stations. Last year, Cumberland Fire got that, just once a year. Next one down is Virginia State Firefighters Association grant. Cartersville got awarded that for $3,000, and that is to replace all of their firefighting ladders that they carry on the apparatus that need to be replaced, so that will take care of all those. And below that, we have Cumberland Fire got awarded the same amount of money from the same association grant for tools and equipment, firefighting tools and equipment like axes, poles, things like that that they need to do their jobs. Colonial Pipeline, I've asked them several times for monetary donations, and they awarded us $4,000. We're going to hold that back to see if we can purchase a used boat for the concrete reservoir. The boat will be more than that, but that's just a portion of the money we're holding for that reason, since we don't have a boat for rescues up there when it opens up next spring. And this one through Miss Branch, working with other agencies and all the different groups that she works with, and your picture's gonna be up here next. She networked through another agency in Powhatan, and we were awarded $10,000 of CPR equipment. If it hadn't been for her, I'd never known about it. She did all of the work. I just asked for it. They had money to give us, and we got $10,000 to buy AEDs, train people to teach CPR, and buy all the CPR management. Your pictures up here.
You're not giving yourself enough credit.
The next one we tried last year for, never won it, but this year we won it. And if y'all remember in 1994, Forrest Gump, Gary Sinise has a foundation, and he was Lieutenant Dan in the movie. A lot of background work went through this one, but we were awarded $10,000, no cost to the county. It's all a grant. Bought us the water rescue equipment. I'll hold that up in a second when we get to the next slide. And then the big one, another big one we just recently got was we're in need of more vehicle radio equipment. It wasn't part of the original project for radio equipment. This is digital vehicle repeaters like a state trooper would have in their vehicle, and then a portable radio for communications. It's not extra, it's vehicles that need these items. There's Miss Branch. Great job. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have known what happened, so thank you. And those are the items that we can buy with the American Heart Association grant that Tiana worked through. So $10,000 worth of all them things. And this is Lieutenant Dan and Forrest Gump, if you remember. That was in '94. So what we did was we purchased water rescue gear, helmets, life vests, all the fire apparatus and rescue squads have these. And then the throwbacks where you take in somebody's, drowning and you just deploy this, you hold one end of the rope and throw the bag out up to 75 feet, and they can grab it, you can tow them in. They're really effective if you have somebody that's viable in the water and trying to get to the shoreline and you're there. Those are the items that we purchased. That was $11,000 worth of water rescue equipment, and that is identified need. That is something that we need. With the Cop Creek Reservoir opening up tentatively next spring, this will better prepare all of our first responders to go and make an effective rescue. Real quick, as simple as I can make this, the vehicle radio system. The vehicle radios, if you look at the first picture on here, we are working right now with borrowed or lent radios from the state because our old system's not working very well. And these portable radios we have now is just a 5-watt radio that keys up and it tries to find the state police tower to talk. There's a lot of areas in the county where it just doesn't work. We went through it today at a fire in Cartersville just a couple hours ago, and the radio doesn't work because it's requiring of a vehicle repeater, which we will get with the new system, new radio system. So what we were awarded was some additional vehicle repeaters, which we didn't have. Every vehicle had a repeater in it. And a repeater is, I talk on the portable radio, the signal goes to the vehicle, and then the vehicle interprets it to be boosted up to 100 watts to make contact with the tower. That's as simple as it gets. Then the communication comes back the other way. So picture number one, with a red lightning bolt that's demonstrating you're in a multi-story building, or you could be in the basement of this building, and you talk on your 5-watt radio to the tower, and it's just not going to make the signal. The second picture demonstrates with the green lightning bolts that it's going to talk from multi-levels of the structure to the apparatus, and then it's going to boost the signal to the tower. It's something we have to have. We've got to have it. So that's what the vehicle repeaters looks like. It's a digital vehicle repeater. It's just a big electronic box, goes in the car or fire truck. And that's another example, especially the sheriff's office. When they have a traffic stop and they're trying to speak and they don't have a vehicle repeater, they have no communication. Now, they're getting everything they're supposed to get. I'm not here to speak on their behalf. They're getting all of the devices to make their vehicles work. Fire and EMS did not get all the vehicles, all the items to work. So I tried to do some numbers for you real quick. We've got 82 fire and EMS vehicle seat belted riding positions. That is a position on the fire apparatus or ambulance. It's a seat belted riding position for a first responder to sit in. The new fire radio project gave us 51 portable radios. We're supposed to have a portable radio for each riding position as a recommendation. The RSAF grant that we were awarded gave us 13 additional portable radios. That was the grant I was just talking about. So we got 13 additional portable radios, and we need 82, so we're up to 64 now. I feel better about that. I think that's a better place to be. It's the same thing as a pilot flying a fighter jet, not having a radio. It's that important for firefighters and EMS workers to have the radios. Each portable radio through contract pricing is $12,000. This technology is just costs a lot. So that covers the portable radios. We're getting 13 additional of those through the grant. And then the vehicle repeaters, we got 27 that are identified that we need. 13 were acquired through the project, and this grant has given us 6 additional vehicle repeaters, bringing us to a total of 19 out of 27. Puts us in a better place. Each vehicle repeater is $13,400. So the grant's helping us with all this is my point. National Fire Protection Agency 1802 addresses a two-way portable radio frequency voice communication devices to be used by emergency personnel. So the RSF grant we got is a 50-50 grant. The total cost is $234,799.52. They're giving us half of that. The county has to match the other to make this work. So they're giving us $117,399.76, which is a savings to the county, and the county contribution would be an equal amount. Just wanted to let you know we got the new ambulance in service as of May 1st, the one that I brought here that night, let everybody look at. It's in service. 7,000 miles now already, but it's been great. Everybody loves it. Thank you for your support on that. A couple training events coming up this weekend. Cumberland's hosting a vehicle extrication course. It's where they take a weekend class. They have a bunch of vehicles and they tear them all up and flip them over and practice getting people out of the vehicles, dump dummies. We still have the Virginia Department of Fire Program training opportunities. They're rolling all the time. Just have to sign up for them. And VDEM, Department of Emergency Management, they're going to be offering some courses as well. We just have to get people to enroll in those. They're state level courses. It's all funded. All this is funded. No cost to the county, just time. Still having monthly rescue squad meetings best we can. Monthly volunteer fire chief meetings. We're going to be Miss Shores with the school division is going to talk about the 9/11 remembrance event at Cumberland schools, which we'll be a part of like we were last year. And also, I've been with Miss Shores to 2 of 3 town hall meetings with the community to gain some more support and tell the public what we're trying to do, what Fire and EMS is trying to do. We haven't had a large turnout, but we're trying. That's all we can do. This vehicle's outside right now. I had the Cartersville members bring it up here. This is a donated Tahoe from Goochland County. And I figured it's about $70,000 of savings to the county. We've re-decaled it. We're using it as a first responder EMS vehicle at a Cartersville fire station to cover the northern tier of the county. They brought that here tonight if you want to see it outside. That's all I have for you. Any questions?
Darren, first of all, thank you for your hard work. You've done a great job. How are the repeaters being distributed between the fire trucks and the ambulances?
So each fire station has 6 vehicles. They're going to have 4 repeaters each, where they were only getting 2 before. All the ambulances are covered.
So in the future, will they do more?
A few. If we could purchase some more, it'd be great.
Okay.
It's all dependent on the vehicle that gets there first to the scene. If they have a repeater, then the portable radios will talk to that vehicle repeater and send out the signal. If that vehicle leaves, there has to be another repeater there in a vehicle for it to recognize and talk. I don't want a firefighter or EMS worker, I've been there and done this, get in a situation where you call for help and your radio don't work because it doesn't connect to a repeater because we don't have it on the vehicle. It's not a fun place to be at all. So if we could give the technology up front, I understand it's expensive. I think it's merited to do that for the safety of all of our people.
And then a follow-up, the paging system for the firefighters, is that adequately up and running now?
It's running on a, I'm trying to think of the word, it's not guaranteed to keep working the way it is. It's operating off of a lot of worn out, obsolete equipment, except the pagers they're carrying. We're trying to work through a solution to guarantee that they'll work.
Okay.
I'm working on it. So,
Thank you.
very welcome.
Other board members?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Very welcome.
Next up is Cumberland County Schools, Missy Shores, wherever, there she is. Wherever she may be.
Good evening. So I just wanted to fill you in on some things going on. We've had a really productive summer. We're wrapping up the previous year. We've been doing a lot of reflection, a lot of work on reviewing our outcomes from last year and planning for an even better year ahead. We've had a great year on the 25-26 school year. We did our annual summer retreat at Camp Parsons. It was a great opportunity to get away from the schools, get away from distractions. We couldn't even get on the internet, so we didn't have to worry about anyone checking their email or doing anything foolish like that. We were able to really focus on the work at hand. And just today, I took a group of staff to Pulaski County, which is a little bit of a drive, but they do some pretty incredible things in their schools. And we were looking for ideas of things that we can bring back to engage our students more. It's really about community engagement, parental engagement. So look for some invitations to participate in some things with that. Also, an alternative to out of school suspension, they do a night school program. And so we're really looking at implementing something like that in the schools to help kids keep up with their studies when they make a bad choice and to give us a chance to work through that with them. So we're really excited about the information we gathered today. Pleased to report that we are continuing to make strong academic growth. Among the 81 schools in the CIP, we ranked 5th in overall student growth, and we were 4th in overall growth of our students with disabilities population. And I just found out this week, our middle school, there are over 100 middle schools in that 81 school divisions, ranked 5th among all of those middle schools in student growth. So we're really proud of the hard work our teachers and our staff are putting in. As we prepare for the start of the next school year, we're wrapping up the hiring process. We have most of our positions filled. We have a JROTC position at the high school, and 3 elementary teaching positions that we are still looking to fill. But we have a plan if we don't get there. The principals are doing a great job of making sure that they've got a backup plan for that. And our new maintenance employees started July 1st. So we have 2 people on staff for maintenance, and they are doing a fantastic job preparing our schools and our grounds for the start of the new school year. I'd like to invite you all. Our new teachers start on the 27th, but we have convocation on the 29th. And our theme for this upcoming year is write your own story. So it's really a focus on, we've closed that chapter, let's move into the next. And we have a keynote speaker, his name is Mr. Larry Pugh. If you Google him, Larry Pugh of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, he's a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. I met him when I student taught, 4 or 5 years ago, right out of college, so. So anyhow, he's gonna be there, and it'll be a really great message. He's overcome a lot in his life to get to where he got, and to do the things he's been able to do, and we're really excited for that. Want to congratulate our FBLA students. They represented us at nationals, and I have Ms. Woodson here, who is their advisor. We had 2 students make it to the finals. We don't know the final standings yet, but we're really proud of the accomplishments of that group of students. And in a few minutes, you'll get to meet some of the members of our track team who are state champions, and we're very proud of them as well. This past Sunday, our elementary school hosted basket bingo. I had no idea what that was, but I went and participated. It was a lot of fun. We talked about how, we had a room full of people at the community center, and it really brought people together. They laughed, they had a good time, and it was for a great cause. So to date, prior to that, we'd already raised over $10,000 for new playground equipment at the elementary school. So I'm sure that put a big dent in what we're trying to accomplish with that. We are excited. I had a meeting last week with a representative from Dominion Power, talking about bringing a class back to the school. Prior to my return to Cumberland, there was a class called Energy and Power there. They kind of opened kids up to potential in the energy industry. And it's a class that was designed by them. So we're looking at reintroducing our students to that class. In addition, Ms. Marshall talked about some information that they have for our students on different career pathways in energy. So really excited to bring that to our kids and give them options for what they do beyond high school. And we also met with a representative from Dominion Energy Solutions, which is another branch of Dominion, but they are looking at 2 of our buildings as potential sites for installation of roof solar panels at really no cost to us. It'll give us a lot of savings in our energy, and over the course of the years, we'll see a substantial savings in that just based on what our average current costs are. So really excited about that and being able to have that opportunity to continue to be responsible with what we have. And finally, I just want to say, you know, I hope that when we have the 9/11 ceremony, a lot of you can come to this. I was a teacher in Cumberland when the original event occurred, and Ms. Tyree was there as well. And the very first year we did a human flag on the front field. The students, they held up pieces of paper and we did the flag. Because it's the 25th anniversary, we want to recreate that. And really talk about the meaning of it. Our kids have done a great job of carrying on that tradition. But it's one of those things, you know, I know my mom talked about, you know, where was she when JFK was shot? Well, I can tell you I was writing notes on my board at the high school when my Channel 1 television popped on and started going through the events that were occurring that day. So lesson plans were scrapped and we talked through that. But it's one of those events that's incredibly impactful. It reminds us of the importance of community, of the strength in teaming up and staying together and battling through things. So I hope that, I know Mr. Simpson and Mr. Hamlet have agreed to be on the committee working on it. Mr. Hurley, Sheriff Hodges said he'll be away for the first meeting, but he's going to send a representative. And we really just want to pull the community together for this. It should be a pretty amazing and pretty emotional event for our staff, students, and community. So look forward to that. Thank you for your time this evening.
Ms. Short, I have a question.
Sure.
Did you have a time for that convocation?
The convocation, so it's in the notes that I sent you, but breakfast will start at 7:30. About 8:15 is when we'll actually start the events for the day.
Dr. Shores, while you're here, there's a resolution pending for Cumberland County High School Girls Track and Field Team.
Absolutely. Do you mind if I call the team members that are here up?
And would you like to read it?
Well, I would love to, actually. I was going to do it. Whereas the Cumberland County High School Girls Track and Field Team had a tremendously successful spring 2026 season, and whereas the Cumberland County High School Girls Track and Field Team finished as the VHSL Class 1 state champions in the VHSL State Championships, and whereas the Cumberland County High School Girls Track and Field Team consisted of the following student athletes: Jayla Augustine, Micaiah Hawkins, Nevaeh Hobson, Aaliyah Minter, Lucy Stone, and Darren Woodson Trent. Coaches Kenneth Jacey, Timothy Crossan, and Wendy Ford. And whereas the following athletes captured the following finishes at the 2026 state championship: Jayla Augustine, first place in the shot put; Micaiah Hawkins, second place in the pole vault; third place in the long jump; fourth place in the 400 meters; and fifth place in the 200 meters. Darren Woodson Trent, third place in the discus and seventh place in the 100 meters. Nevaeh Hobson, third place in the triple jump, seventh place in the 100 meters, fourth place in the 300 meters, and fourth place in the 200 meters. And Lucy Stone, seventh place in the pole vault, all of which earned Cumberland County Lady Dukes enough points to capture the championship. Now therefore be it resolved that the Cumberland County Board of Supervisors officially recognizes the tremendous commitment, dedication, and success of the 2026 Cumberland High School Girls Track and Field Team, adopted the 14th day of July 2026.
Reed.
Aye.
Mr. Simpson.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders.
Sorry, I don't take them. They're the important people here.
You guys wanna hold up your little? There we go. Alright, ready, 1, 2, 3. Mr. Newman, can you scoot that way just a smidge? There we go, ready, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Y'all agree?
I also want to thank the community. We had a great turnout for the parade, recognizing them, and it was a really nice event. So thank you, everyone, for your support.
And Dr. Shores, you have, funding requests?
Yes, so as you all know, the state was very late in approving their final budget this year, and we debated over this, we deliberated over this, but they recommended a 4% raise for educators, and I believe other government employees, which caused us to have to come back. We had planned for 2.5%, and as you know, the previous school year, we were not able to give but a 1.5%, putting us below the recommended raise. In order to meet the required 4%, we're respectfully requesting an additional $167,000. I put it in the letter, $167,000 in order to get the state match of over $300,000 so that we can meet that 4%. I do want to say it was a really hard decision for us to come forward with that request, but concern for staff retention and staff morale kind of prompted us to know that this was the right thing to do for our staff and our employees. So respectfully, that is the request before you.
Okay. Board members, discussion? Anybody?
I got a question. I know, I don't have nothing against the teachers, they do a good job. But you come asking for additional funding. And I know one had a meeting, and you sent a memo out stating that comparing the teacher salary with Gooseman and our math. Cumberland teachers is the highest paid in the city county. And Cumberland already give more percentage than any other county around here.
Actually,
That come up with 24, 25, 26 that the government put out.
right.
And documents, they show proof.
So respectfully, we don't give any larger raise than any other division. The state dictates the percentage raise. And what I do know is there are several divisions giving a 5%. Appomattox last year gave it a 7% when we could only give a 1.5%. So while I understand that we do pay well, if we don't keep up, we're going to get passed by. So that is why we're making this request.
And I know that, but it always kind with counties that we can't compete with. Because our revenue. And right now we got so much going on. If we give you for the teachers, then social service come back at us. Even our own house, we'll take our own house first, and what our employees say, if we give you got social service, you got crossroads, we got, it's even commissioner. She wanted, I think it was an extra person, additional fund. So it's,
So last year, when we only got a 1.5%, all the other county departments got the 3%. So, and part of that was an informal agreement, I believe, between that county administration and our superintendent at the time, Dr. Jones, that everyone would do a 1.5%. And then after we did the 1.5%, the county came back and did a 3%. So, and I understand, that's why this was hard for us to do. But I want you to think about, if we don't retain teachers, if we don't continue to invest in our education for our students, where are they going to be when the teachers leave? And we have to hire a bunch of young kids. It costs about $11,000 per person to train new staff every year, in addition to their salary. So if we hire a new teacher at $53,000 and we invest in training them to deliver good quality instruction, the first year alone is going to cost us an additional $11,000 per teacher to get them trained. And we want to be good stewards. That's why we're looking at things like solar panels on our roofs of our buildings to lower our energy costs. We're looking at hiring maintenance staff to lower what we have to pay out in maintenance.
I understand, we're talking about teachers, we're talking about teachers.
Well, we're talking about all staff, not just teachers. We're talking about bus drivers.
Still staff.
We're talking about custodians.
Now, we got here Amelia County for 25 and 26% decrease for 5.37.
Yeah.
Cumberland,
1.5,
7.99.
not last year.
Well, the data, this comes from the government.
Well, then that's
25,
wrong.
26, 24, 25, 26. Data what we're supposed to go by.
Well, that is incorrect. We gave a 1.5% increase last year.
So you saying the government telling us 30?
I'm just saying that that's not accurate with what happened. I'm not saying that anyone's telling a story. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. What I'm saying is we gave a 1.5% raise last year compared to Appomattox giving a 7%. And we're not the only school system coming back and asking the Board of Supervisors for additional funding. A lot of counties counted on that original 2% and or a 3% increase. No one knew that the state was going to approve a 4%. That came out of nowhere.
I know some of the counties asked for it.
Yeah.
Some of the schools asked for it, and some of the counties didn't give it to them. And made them, some of them went back in that budget trying to find themselves. So I figured, did you go back in your budget, see can you find it?
Oh, well, we can't because it has to be shown in the budget that it's been appropriated in order for us to access the funds. That is a state requirement. So if we are fortunate enough to be granted this request, we actually have to go back and rework the budget, get it approved by our school board, and then send it again to the Board of Supervisors for final approval. That is the process. But I guess when I sent that letter, it was letting you know this is the situation we're in. And I met with a superintendent today who's asking his board tonight, his school board tonight, to approve a revised budget. I talked to Dr. Jones. He's in a similar situation. A lot of counties are in this situation because the state took so long to approve their budget. And I can't help that, and I can't hold my people hostage to what other people have done. But let's say, and they've already approved a 4% for next year, which is a total of 8%. But if we don't fund the 4% this year, and we say, well, we're going to do 2.5 or whatever, and we try to make it up next year, they're still not going to appropriate us the full amount that the state would match, because you have to do it incrementally. You have to do it the way the state has laid out.
I understand that, but we don't know what will happen in the future.
We don't, except that they've already made it a 2-year, 4% this year, 4% next year. They've already declared that, so we already know for next year what to ask for.
And this plan has to be initiated within a certain amount of time. Right?
Yes, sir.
Like 1 August, or y'all have to have something.
Yeah, we have to really, so ideally it would be before the first pay cycle on this contract, but we're already going to be too late for that. So it would be, but then we'll go back and prorate it to our employees or staff if that's how that goes. So we're not trying to stand here with our hands out, but in this case, we had great retention this year, and we're fortunate in that. But it was a lot of open, transparent conversations with staff, with the community, and I want to keep it that way, and I want to continue to advocate for the people that I know put in hours well beyond the 7:30 to 3:15. Teachers don't have a time clock. They put in their hours and they work hard. And what I will say is I was contacted by a national magazine this week, and they're going to feature us in an edition, and I will be happy to send that to you, where nationally Cumberland is being recognized for the efforts that they're putting into their young people. And that's a tribute to staff that is quality, staff that works hard, and staff that stays when other people wouldn't. And I don't think it's too much to ask that they get what other school divisions are going to get. And I would venture a guess, the county will probably request a 4% for their staff. That would be my guess. And I don't think that that's too much to ask. But if we don't invest in them, they're going to feel unvalued and they're going to leave. And then we'll be hiring 20 staff instead of 6.
So how short you got, how many staff are you short?
We are short 3 teachers at the elementary school. And that's it. And the 1 JROTC at the high school. But we are completely fully staffed at the middle school. We only have 1 opening at the high school, and we have the 3 openings at the elementary. So I feel like I shouldn't have to justify for my people what they do. So I'm going to leave it in your hands, but we will continue to do the work before us. But I want you to know that the people that are staying and doing that work, we can't guarantee that they will always stay and do that work if we don't treat them as others in the state are being treated. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate any consideration.
Any other comments or questions from board members? Rika? You good? Sam?
I just want to say thank you, Missy. I think you stepped into this role. You've done a phenomenal job. Our teachers and our staff at our school system do a phenomenal job. I've said this before. I think they make do with they make a lot out of a little, and I recognize that. We, as a board, recognize that when it came to budget season. We had the interim county administrator go back and readjust and make sure that we made the school budget whole, so you wouldn't lose out on the state funding. The problem I have with the ask, and I don't want this to be taken as a slight on anybody at Cumberland Public Schools, because it's not. It's just when looking at the dollars and looking at the county funds, and in my role being a good steward of the taxpayer dollar, and looking at the budget season, and not every department got fully funded for what they were asking, because we had to make sure that we would take from here to give there to make sure that we could make a lot out of a little as well. Mr. Saunders made a point about other departments then coming back if they saw that we allocated at this point in the budget cycle an extra $167,000, which it's not chump change. But you have an all-volunteer fire department in this county that just asked for an extra $10,000 per department. That would have been $30,000 in total, and we as a board did not approve that. Whereas when we came back to the table, we gave the school, I think it was about an extra $300,000 above what the recommended budget was. So I just, at this stage, it's one of those things where I don't feel that when you look at the numbers of surrounding districts, I don't feel that our staff is currently underpaid. I understand the ask and everybody else is getting a 4% or higher. But we did, fund a certain percentage. We didn't say no percentage when we did the initial budget. I'm giving pause just because of where's the money going to come from. Are we going to have to, dip into, again, I think we dipped into the fund balance to be able to come up with that extra $300,000 for the budget. And at this stage, next year, during budget season next year, we're going to have to raise taxes, and that's not even 2 words in my vocabulary. So I just, it's not something, I don't take the decision lightly, just say that.
Well, on the equity side, an additional 167,000 when you could leverage 386,000 in state funding, to me is a no-brainer. So with that, do we have a motion to?
I'm gonna recommend a motion to approve the budget request.
I will second.
Mr. Hamlin? You said no? Mr. Newman?
All right.
Ms. Tyree? Aye. Mr. Stimpson?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Schwartz. And next, VDOT. Ryan Locker.
All right, short slides tonight. Good evening, Chairman, members of the board administration. Here, Brian Locker, resident engineer, former residency, here to talk about last month's activity for VDOT, and I think I have one slide to talk about the activity. We went through, just real quick, we're into a new budget cycle. The data that I present on a monthly basis has not been uploaded yet to our database, so hence the reason not to share that. The good news is we came in, on budget for last fiscal year. And I don't know the numbers for this fiscal year yet, but that's to come. So I'll just roll through some miscellaneous items. Again, similar to last month. General maintenance activities, at least for the past month, have been patching of the asphalt. That's something that our forces are doing throughout the county. You also see mowing operations going on here at this time. The other item on the agenda, we'll skip through Route 728. I know that's next on the agenda that Francis put on there. The Route 45 speed study, again, from Davenport to 45, that is ongoing. I think I mentioned, if you recall, that I mentioned last month. We're conducting kind of like a preliminary study to acquire some data to see if it's worth moving forward with a formal study. I will follow up on that. Over at the school road or the roadway going into the schools, we're working with the school again on speed limit reduction. There is code language in there that allows a reduction from 25 to 15, and that does require some participation with the board. And I think there'll be more to come on that in coordination with the school board. The only other item I have for the board is that for the next 3 months, 2 months, I'll be in an acting role within VDOT. Scott Frederick, he's a resident engineer who will be here in my place. If you do have questions or concerns with constituents, you can still share with me, email or phone, and I'll look to pass it on where it needs to get addressed. That is all I have for the official report for the board. Are there any questions for me at this time? Thank you. All right, hearing none, I just wanted to go on to the other agenda item or? Yeah. Okay, would you like me to, well, just a brief synopsis on this. So, this resolution is for acceptance of the remaining portion of Commerce Road. It's about 1/10 of a mile, and this will bring it to where it ends now, just after the animal shelter to where the cul-de-sac is. Would you like me to read the resolution? I'm not sure if you need that for the minutes or. Okay. So this resolution here, it's whereas the Farmville Residency Office of the Virginia Department of Transportation recommends that the street reference in this board's resolution be added to the secondary system of state highways as a no-cost rural addition pursuant to section 33.2705 of the Code of Virginia and Commonwealth Transportation Board rural addition policy. Because the streets meet current minimum standards, the condition of the existing hard surface is good, the street has provided a continuous public service since its establishment in 2013 and currently serves a portion of the Cumberland County Industrial Park as well as private entrances. And whereas the Farmville Residency Office of the Virginia Department of Transportation confirms that no department funds are required to improve the street described on the attached additions form AM 4.3 to meet current minimum design or maintenance standards of the department. Now, therefore, be resolved, this board requests the Virginia Department of Transportation to add the street described on the attached additions form AM 4.3 to the secondary system of state highways pursuant to section 33.2-705 Code of Virginia and the Rural District Policy of the Commonwealth Transportation Board of the Virginia Department of Transportation. Be it further resolved, this board guarantees a clear and unrestricted right-of-way as described on the attached Form AM 4.3 and the necessary easements for cuts, fills, and drainage. And be it further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded to the resident engineer of the Virginia Department of Transportation.
Board members, any questions or discussions?
No, sir.
Okay. With that, do we have a motion to adopt the no cost rural addition to secondary route as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree? Aye. Mr. Stimpson?
Aye.
Mr. Song?
Ms. Branch, can you, the AM 4.3, I also need a signature because the phone is screwed or something.
I'll email it to you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Locker. And next, we have a finance report.
Good evening again, members of the board. Starting on page 20 of your board packet, you'll find the monthly budget report. That is for the month of June. That is for your information, but if you have any questions, I'd like to take those.
Give you a few minutes to review. Any questions directed to Ms. Cruz, please?
I'm sorry.
Okay, if there are no questions, we move forward to an appropriation for funding $45,150 for a school improvement grant.
So Cumberland County Public Schools has requested the board appropriate grant funds awarded to the school system totaling $45,150. The funds were awarded to the school through the school improvement grant, and this grant does not require any additional local funding.
Any questions on this particular item? Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree? Aye. Mr. Stimpson?
Aye.
Mr. Song?
Thank you.
I do have one more item this evening. As the board is well aware, on June 22nd of this year, the House and Senate approved a state budget that did include a 3.5% across the board salary increase for state funded positions. This was an amendment to the previously proposed 2% across the board increase included in the budget. Consequently, the Board of Supervisors approved a 2% increase for all employees to make the increase equitable. The 2% increase, as budgeted, has been implemented as of July 1. Since the state has revised the budget and will support an additional 1.5%, I am requesting the board to consider an increase for all employees. By maintaining the same percentage as the state, the county will continue to pay employees with the same job responsibilities, the same rate of pay, whether they are state or county funded positions. It is my recommendation that if the board approves the additional 1.5%, the increase be applied to all employees. The increase will be effective on August 1st, 2026, and based on the employee's salary prior to the 2% increase implemented on July 1. The increase is estimated to cost approximately $30,000. The state contribution to that will be approximately $24,000.
I think it's a no-brainer. You gotta take care of home. You take care of everybody else.
I would like to make a motion that we allocate the funds to match or to support the additional 1.5% salary increase contingent upon giving each fire department an extra $10,000 of funding.
Did you make a motion?
That was my motion.
Sir?
Mr. Songs, was that a second?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree? Aye. Mr. Stimpson?
Aye.
Mr. Songs?
Aye.
Planning and Zoning Report. Stephanie Johnson.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Stephanie Johnson, Planning Director. Tonight, the first item of many that I have for you this evening is the monthly update for the Planning Department for the month of June. And that can be found on pages 31 through 36 of your packet. I've also included a summary up here in the PowerPoint as well. There were 5 subdivisions approved with 52 pending. 3 plats, surveys of existing lots or site plans that were approved, and 47 pending. A total of 25 permits, zoning permits that were approved, 10 residential land disturbance permits that were approved, and 0 commercial. I do have 3 that are pending, and there are, I believe, 5 that are active. There are 7 current development applications, with 2 more that I have received this month. They're just not deemed complete yet. Those 2 are both gonna be rezoning applications. One of them is for a request to rezone from R3 residential district to A2 for the purpose of a family subdivision. The R3 zoning district has a minimum acreage of 5 acres. And the property owner wants to gift deed to a family member 2 acres. But that is not permitted by right in the R3 zoning district because the minimum lot size is 5 acres. So he is requesting, or will be requesting, to rezone his property to agricultural so that he can do a family subdivision of 2 acres. The second one is a rezoning request to rezone from B2 business to A2 agricultural. The property owner purchased 2 lots on Cumberland Road and was not aware or was not told that it was actually zoned business and not agricultural. So when he came in to apply for a building permit for a home, it was not approved because it is zoned business. So he is also submitting an application for rezoning from B2 business to A2 agricultural. I also have a few other items for my monthly report that are not typical, but I did want to just bring them up. The first is the booms study. Our former county administrator, Derek Stamy, had been working with the CRC on many projects, including applying to have the courthouse district, which is a portion of the village center, designated as an exploring Main Street community, which is a tier of the Virginia Main Street program regulated through the Department of Housing and Community Development, or DHCD. This designation allowed the county, with the assistance of the Commonwealth Regional Council, or CRC, to apply for grant funding for different opportunities in the county, one of which was the BOOM study. BOOM stands for Building Opportunities on Main Street. The overall goal of this study is to identify the best uses for vacant or underutilized spaces within a certain area. Our village center here goes from the old BB&T Bank to just east of the Cumberland restaurant where the antique store is. The specific study for Cumberland is focusing on, of course, the village center, and there are vacant structures that staff has identified within the BOOM study area for the consultants to review. The data gathered can be beneficial for attracting investments and strengthening Main Street initiatives. There is no cost to the property owners for this study. Funding for the project has been provided through a grant from the Tobacco Commission. Thursday, September 10th, members of county staff, the individual property owners, and staff from the CRC, the Department of Housing and Community Development, the Tobacco Commission, as well as the consultants will complete a study. They will complete an initial walkthrough of these properties through the community in each of the buildings from 10 a.m. to noon. That evening from 6 to 7:30, all of those people mentioned above, as well as the members of the community, will hold a community walking visioning tour and a discussion where everyone can provide their feedback and ideas of what uses they feel would be suitable for each location. No members of the public will be allowed access inside these buildings. Friday, September 11th, the consultants will host a work session and provide draft findings of the information that they received and discuss next steps with staff. This is something that you as a board may have been aware of. Of course, with the previous county administrator, I have kind of stepped in and taken over this project with other members of our staff, Ms. Branch and Ms. Cruz. But with the dates now being set, I wanted to make you all aware that the consultants have scheduled dates to come into the sites. The property owners will be present. And again, we will be having the community invited to that walkthrough that evening of the 10th. Yes, the 10th, I apologize. More information will be forthcoming as we have it. I do plan to post some information on the website, on the bulletin boards as well, and I just wanted to make the public aware as well. So we do want to get the community involved in that project. The last item that I have for you is just informational. When some of these larger scale solar projects were approved and we had siting agreements that were approved along with the CUPs. One of the items that were included in those siting agreements was reimbursement for a third-party inspector for the erosion and sediment control. Two of those larger scale developments are still in the permitting process, but they're looking at submitting a final site plan this calendar year. So staff has reached out to a few of the engineers that are on the CRC's consultants list to see about looking at getting a contract with one of them for site plan review and ENS inspections. I've spoken with 3 different engineering companies at this point. We're still just discussing the options, discussing the needs that county staff has, and seeing if that's something that they can provide to the county. Any contract that staff may be interested in would of course need to come before the board for a motion and a vote. So just wanted you guys to be aware that that is ongoing as well. And that's all that I have for you for monthly project updates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from Ms. Strauss? Thank you.
She have another.
Yeah, she has no.
Yes. Next item I have is for planning commission reappointments. Commissioner Donahue, Steve Donahue and Matt Seal have served on the planning commission for a while. Mr. Donahue since 2014 and Mr. Seal since 2023. Both of their commissions expire at the end of this month. Mr. Donahue does wish to be reappointed, I apologize. Mr. Seal wishes to be reappointed as well. I just want to point out that he obtained his certified planning commissioner certification through the Land Use Education Program from the Grace E. Harris Leadership Institute at VCU, and this is his first term. His term is set to expire the end of this month. He does wish to be reappointed, and staff is requesting that both Mr. Donahue and Mr. Seal be reappointed with the term expiring July 31st of 2029. Also in this request, Commissioner Steve Rosen has served on the Planning Commission since 2020 and has been chairman of the commission during most of his tenure. Mr. Rosen has also obtained his certified planning commissioner certification through the land use program at VCU. His current term actually expired September 30th of last year. Staff respectfully requests that the board reappoint Mr. Rosen for a 3-year term beginning October 1, 2025 and expiring September 30th of 2028. So there is a total of 3 reappointments that I'm requesting this evening.
Any questions first?
Do you want to vote on them all together or individually?
I do have a question. With these, if these 3 individuals were to be reappointed, do we still have a vacancy on the planning commission?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that I plan to bring to you next month.
Okay,
For them individual?
I'm gonna just do this one.
Okay.
Do them all.
Yeah, I don't know unless anyone objects to any.
We can do that forever.
And then,
Yes, we can.
I make a motion to approve all 3 for reappointment.
Second.
Mr. Hammond,
Aye.
Mr. Newman,
Aye.
Mr. Tyree,
Aye.
Mr. Simpson,
Aye.
Mr. Song.
Ms. Johnson. Next, Kipper Beasley.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, with us this evening, we have Charlie Williams and Scott Foster from Gentry Lock, who the county has retained to assist in the Dominion project, and they have an update for the board this evening.
Good evening, good to be with y'all. Scott Foster from Gentry Lock. As has been reported in the news, county has received a conditional use permit application with Cumberland Energy Center from Dominion Energy. Ms. Johnson and I have reviewed that application. Its contents meet the requirements for a conditional use permit as set forth by the zoning ordinance, and that the application has been deemed complete. Staff and our firm are actively working on a comprehensive set of conditional use permit conditions for this project, and that work is ongoing. On July 20th, the July 20th Planning Commission meeting, Ms. Johnson will request that the Planning Commission set a public hearing on that conditional use permit for August 17th. So that will be the first public hearing on that project. Also on your agenda tonight is the water and wastewater capacity reservation agreement. At that time the agenda item comes up, I'm happy to answer any additional questions you all have. To set the table on this agreement is but a first step in answering a question about utilities that may serve this project. It is in no way binding upon the board in regards to any land use decision. It is a first step in the due diligence process. It reserves a certain amount of water transmission, wastewater treatment capacity for Dominion. It provides for funds from Dominion back to the county to pay for study done by an engineering firm that will scope out this project and provide the county at least a large batch of the information it will need to make a determination about whether it proceeds with the utility side of this project. But again, in no way is binding on the land use question for the board, and there's numerous off-ramps to that effect. So happy to answer those questions when it comes up.
Any questions from board members? Thank you. Thank you. We have no old business, new business. It's a request to set public hearing. Point event facility. Ms. Johnson's back with the mic.
Hey, Dan. The next item I have for you is a request to set a public hearing for conditional use permit 26-02 Firefly Point Event Facility. This is a request for a conditional use permit from Mr. and Mrs. Andrew and Jamie Frieden. They have private property off of a private road, Firefly Point, which is off of Columbia Road. Staff respectfully requests that the Board of Supervisors set CUP 2602 for a public hearing on August 11th of 2026.
Any questions from Ms. Johnson?
I'd like to make a motion that we set a public hearing.
Yep.
For Firefly.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree?
Aye.
Mr. Stimson?
Aye.
Mr. Song?
Aye.
Thank you. Next is the Department of Social Services lease renewal.
Space located at 1874 Anderson Highway, better known as the Luther P. Jackson Community Center, is being leased to the Department of Social Services. The current lease between the county and social services is set to expire July 31st. The proposed lease agreement is for 1 year, commencing August the 1st and expiring on July 31st, 2027. The agreement includes the use of the space as well as ongoing maintenance, and the agreement includes $24,000 in lease payments from DSS to the county. That is the same rate that they are currently paying. I do recommend that the Board of Supervisors authorizes me to execute the proposed lease agreement between DSS and Cumberland County. And you will find that proposed lease starting on page 40 of your board packet.
Mr. Cruz, one question I have is, are there any changes in the square foot usage? Okay.
Now for DSS.
Any other board members have any questions? Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Ms. Tyree, I'm gonna put you at the motion. Mr. Saunders, can you understand? Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree?
Aye.
Mr. Stimpson?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
And next on the agenda is Cumberland DSS board member reappointments.
So the terms for the, board members for District 2, 3, and 5 are expiring at the end of this month. All 3 members are interested in serving another term if the board appoints them. The first one is Sean Rozier, he is the District 2 representative. If he is reappointed, his term will expire July of 2030. Next will be Matt Seal, he's your District 3 representative. Again, if he is reappointed, his term will also expire July of 2030. And Danielle Vaughn of District 5, again, July of 2030, so all the same time. So it is staff's recommendation that the board appoint Sean Rozier, Matt Steele, and Danielle Vaughn to the Social Services Board.
Board members, any questions or items for discussion?
I just wanted to do, Liz Dunn, when does her term expire?
It is already expired.
This month.
Actually, Jessica Omby, the Director of Social Services, called me today
Okay.
and asked that I get with you tonight to see if you can find someone in your district to replace her.
Exactly, and I asked her the same question, we were just floating on, the state of Virginia did extend, you can serve, what, 3-4 year periods now? And that came in effect with the law, so we're, okay, just wanna make sure that
Yes,
she
sir.
was gonna offer that. I make a motion to be approved.
Second. Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree?
Aye.
Mr. Stimpson?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Thank you. Next item is the county administrator employment contract.
So on December the 17th of 2025, Cumberland County did advertise that the board was seeking to hire a county administrator. After reviewing the applications and interviewing candidates, the Board of Supervisors agreed to offer the position to Summer Medina. Summer Medina accepted the position and has agreed to the contract terms. The Board of Supervisors needs to consider approving the contract for Summer and granting her the responsibilities and powers of county administrator pursuant to Virginia Code Section 15.2-1540 and 15.2-1541 and Section 2-60 in the Cumberland County ordinances. It is recommended that the Board of Supervisors approves hiring Summer Medina as Cumberland County Administrator, along with approving her contract and granting her the powers and authority allowed by the Virginia Code Sections 15.2-1540 and 15.2-1541 and Section 2-60 in the Cumberland County ordinances.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Curtis? I will make a motion to approve the county administrator employment contract as presented.
Second.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree? Mr. Stimpson?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
And next is the reservation agreement. This is for water, wastewater capacity reservation agreement.
Mr. Chairman, the water reservation agreement has been negotiated between Council for Cumberland County, Virginia, and Dominion Energy, also known as Virginia Electric and Power Company. This agreement obligates Cumberland County to reserve 2 million gallons per day of water for Dominion's use for its power plant project. If it moves forward, if the project does not proceed or subsequent agreements are not reached between the parties regarding this water usage, this obligation will cease. The reservation agreement also obligates Cumberland to reserve usage of its water infrastructure for the Dominion project if Cumberland chooses to build that infrastructure and after the terms of that usage are negotiated. As part of this agreement, Dominion agrees to reimburse Cumberland County for engineering services from the Timmons Group. As addressed earlier, Gentry Locke is here for any questions the board may have. As county attorney, it's recommended the board of supervisors approve this water and wastewater capacity reservation agreement.
Any questions for our county attorney, Mr. Beasley? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the water and wastewater capacity reservation agreement as presented.
So moved.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree? Mr. Stimpson?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Thank you, Mr. Beasley. And next is the PPTRA resolution.
The next item on your agenda is a resolution, in support of the PPTRA, as provided by the Commissioner of Revenue, Jordan Phillips. The proposed PPTRA for 2026 is 29.90%. And, well, does the board have any questions before I read the resolution on the record? Whereas Virginia Code 58.1-3524.C2 requires the governing body of each locality annually to establish a rate at which personal property tax relief is applied to tangible personal property. And whereas pursuant to Cumberland County Code 58-291, the Board of Supervisors is required to establish by resolution the percentage of tax relief at such a level that it anticipates to fully exhaust the personal property tax relief act funds received from the Commonwealth. And whereas the Commissioner of Revenue has determined that for calendar year 2026, the rate at which the personal property tax relief act funds received from the Commonwealth will be exhausted in Cumberland County when applied to tangible, personal property is 29.90%. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of Cumberland County, Virginia hereby establish the calendar year 2026 Personal Property Tax Relief Act percentage to be applied to tangible personal property tax in Cumberland County, Virginia to be 29.90%. That will be adopted the 14th of July, 2026.
So, just to make sure I'm clear, as presented, there's no change.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions from board members? Do I have a motion to approve PPTR resolution as presented?
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Hamlet,
Aye.
Mr. Newman,
Aye.
Ms. Tyree,
Aye.
Mr. Simpson,
Aye.
Mr. Saunders.
Thank you. And we're entering, 3 public hearings, okay? Ms. Johnson, thank you. First one is the Cup 2502, which is FSDAC radio tower. And Ms. Johnson, please present an overview.
Thank you. So this is a request for a radio tower for the Farmville Seventh-day Adventist Church. It is on 7.4 acres located at 2086 Cumberland Road. The parcel is zoned A2 agricultural and existing structures and uses is the church. Here we have a vicinity map, and at the very bottom you can see a little red star that indicates where the property is located. Here is an aerial map of the parcel itself. Don't let this fool you. Of course, we know GIS is not always accurate, so the church is completely on its own parcel, even though this map shows a little differently. Here is the current survey, and this is dated 1981. This is lot 2 is the subject parcel. Zoning map of the parcel shows that it is zoned A2 agricultural. Here we have the comprehensive plan map. And this shows that the parcel is located within the Rains Tavern Crossroads, which is a smaller village center as indicated in the comprehensive plan. Here is a site plan that was submitted. It is sideways, but to me it makes more sense because we have Cumberland Road that's going north and south, and then the property off to the right. It might be a little difficult to see from far away, but where the 4 kind of lines meet and intersect is where the tower is located. Here is the church and here is the parking lot here. Here's a closer view of that, right side up. Again, you can see where the 4 lines intersect. That is where the tower is located. And it is about 473 feet to the front of the property line. So the tower was erected in April 2025 without local permits. Staff contacted Pastor King and informed him of the requirements for the conditional use permit and the process. Pastor King stated that the church had obtained the permits required from the FCC and were unaware that local permits were needed. Over the past year, staff has worked with members of the church to obtain the information needed to move forward with this process. The CUP application was deemed complete on April 9th of this year, and the request is for a 165-foot tall radio tower that was erected behind the existing church building. The church intends to use this tower to broadcast a non-commercial educational B1 class radio system according to its FCC construction permit application that was submitted in 2021. Their application further provides that the purpose and objective, I think I'm done for the night, of the station is to educate listeners in practical, holistic, home health and heart education, along with uplifting religious messages and music. The tower is located on less than an acre of the property within a 50 by 100 foot area that will be fenced in, approximately 300 feet east of the church building. The fence will be at least 6 foot tall with green plastic anti-climbing strips that will be woven through the chain link fence to prevent climbing. And this is an AI image that was provided to staff showing once the fence is installed with the anti-climbing device, what it will look like. So we know that the tower is located approximately 94 feet from the southern parcel line. Therefore, the applicant is requesting a waiver of section 74-736C7, which requires that all towers be designed to fall within the parcel boundaries. The church does own the parcel south of the location, or the parcel on which the church and the tower is located. So in the event that something, God forbid, does happen, if it does not fall on their property, on the property on which the church and tower is located, it will still be on their property, just not the same parcel. The church has also offered to allow the county to co-locate on the tower for emergency service purposes. The tower is designed to collapse at break points where the legs are connected, which is approximately every 20 feet. So should the tower fail at the base, which again is not likely to happen, but if it does and fall southward, it could potentially fall on the adjoining parcel, which again, we know the church also owns. This is a photo that I took April 18th of last year, which is not long after we were made aware that the tower was erected. It's kind of hard to see at this point, but this photo was taken at the intersection of John Randolph Road and Cumberland Road. It is visible from the road if you're looking for it. If you're driving down the road, you don't really pay attention to it, in my opinion. This is a picture from the driveway of the church. Of course, looking back beyond the church, you can see the tower there. And this is a photo from the parking lot behind the church where you can see the tower that, though the tower has been put up, there has been no electrical connections made to the tower. So they are not currently broadcasting. There has been no electrical permits, no anything that has been issued for this. Since they were made aware that the conditional use permit was required, all of the members of the church that I have been involved with have been working diligently to try to get the information needed in order to get this permit off the ground. Consistency with the comprehensive plan. Goal 14 of the 23 comp plan is to support the efficient and effective emergency services. More specifically, goal 14.2 includes provisions for appropriate and interoperable communications. So if the approval, if the CUP is approved and the installation of the antenna for the county emergency services is done, then that will further the ongoing progress being made in this area as far as emergency communications. Consistency with the zoning ordinance. Section 74-702 provides for the standards that shall be considered by both the planning commission and the board as part of reviewing any CUP application. All standards in this code section have been addressed satisfactorily by the applicant. Section 74-731 through section 747 regulates communication towers and provides guidelines and requirements for these structures. with the one exception of the tower falling within its property boundaries. The application meets the requirements of this code section. And again, this is the waiver that they are requesting, that's section 74-736C7. For public engagement, notice of this hearing was published in the Farmville Herald on July 1st and 8th. Adjoining property owners were sent notice for this public hearing on June 10th. Notice was posted on the public hearings page and on the 3 bulletin boards in the administration building also on June 10th. The Planning Commission held its public hearing on the application on May 18th. And the commission sends this conditional use permit, sorry, I have the wrong notice there, to the board with a recommendation of approval with a 5-1 vote. Before the Planning Commission public hearing, one adjoining property owner did call to inquire about the project, and staff provided the information that they requested. That property owner did not provide any negative feedback for the project. A second additional adjoining property owner submitted an email requesting that they be able to participate in the meeting via Zoom. After some discussion, the property owner was provided information about live streaming and audio available on our website, and they were able to attend the meeting electronically. That is all I have for you on this application, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. We also have Pastor Melvin King here this evening as well, the applicant, so.
I just have a question. If the board were not to approve this cut, what would happen with the tower? Would it have to come down?
Yes.
I'm not in the business of making a church tear down a communications tower. And I really don't fault the church. Look, zoning and setbacks, everything is in place to protect surrounding properties. And I feel that my biggest concern would be the tower not being at the proper setback, but that's alleviated by the fact that the church owns the adjoining property. So I don't think there was any adjoining property concerns there. And, you know, I think that the pastor or the church reached out to the FCC, thought they were doing the right thing. I've been in the same boat. I mean, 6 years ago, my wife wanted an above ground pool. And this was well before ever thinking about running for this board. Had no idea I needed a building permit to put up an above ground pool. And you know, I was informed a couple days into my install that I didn't need a building permit, and I was happy to comply. Just wasn't something I even thought. I knew if you dig a hole and put it in a in-ground pool, I would need one. But apparently, above a certain gallon requires a building permit. So there are even some pools that you would get off the shelf at Walmart that you need a building permit for. And so I learned that one. It was lesson learned. So I don't fault them for you know, thinking they were doing the right thing and not knowing that they needed to cut from the county. But I appreciate the information.
We'll go ahead and open the public hearing and then come back to you for any questions. So at this time, I'll open the public hearing. Please remember that only residents of Cumberland County or individuals owning real property in Cumberland are permitted to speak during public hearings and public comment. We have Mr. Bernard Pond.
My name is Bernard Coleman. I live in District 3 and 38 Honors Trail. I've heard that it's, you know, going to be used for educational and you know, things like this, and I think it'd be a good thing, you know, because it will reach out to, you know, to other people, and you know, it would be good for the county too. So I mean, I don't you know, want any, you know, comments from y'all, but that's my opinion. I think it'd be good for the county.
That was the only sign up that we had, so with no other citizens signed up to speak, we'll now close the public hearing. We will now open the floor for board member discussions. Any other members have any items? Okay, we have a motion to approve copy 2502 FSDAC radio tower as presented.
Second.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree?
Aye.
Mr. Simpson?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
And next is Cup 2601, which is Mega Mini Golf.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Last one for me, I promise for today. I heard that. This is another conditional use permit application for a mini golf business to be located at 3945 Cumberland Road. The property is zoned R2 residential, and the existing structures are, of course, a dwelling and other accessory structures on the property. The parcel acreage is 3.42, but the CUP application acreage is only about 1.4 acres of the total property. Here's the vicinity map. It's easiest just to explain, if you're going from the courthouse to Farmville, make a left on 45, and it's the first driveway on the right. It's in between the corner store and the vet's office, but it'll be on the right-hand side. Here's the zoning map showing that the property outlined in purple is zoned R2 residential. Again, the comprehensive plan map. And then here is the zoomed in version showing the courthouse village center. And that little tiny red star is the approximate location of the property. So this is within the village center district. Here's an aerial map of the property. And this is the current survey that was done before the dedication to VDOT for the widening and changes to Route 45. This survey was done December 13th of 1952. And this is the current survey. I know it's very hard to see. Some of these surveys are very light. This was done May 9th of 1979. The area that's shaded in purple was the parcel or the section of the parcel that was dedicated to VDOT. So after that dedication, the property went from a rectangle to a different shape. Yes. Don't know what you call it, but it's one of those. Here we have the site plan. This was provided by the applicants. Please note that the applicants are not required to, nor will they provide restroom facilities. This is a change since the original application. So originally they did have bathrooms shown on their site plan, and I do have the hard copy here with me this evening if anybody would like to see that up close. So the summary, residents Daniel and Jeffrey Merle, enjoy playing mini golf and wanted to share this passion with the members of the community. Jeffrey, then senior at the high school, chose to open a mini golf business for his senior project. The senior project is a mandatory graduation requirement and is designed to provide valuable hands-on experience. The goal is to help the students develop essential skills in research, project management, and professional presentation, and involves conducting in-depth research, developing a product or service, and delivering a formal presentation. Jeffrey and Daniel, with the help of their father, Fred, who's also here this evening, chose to create the mini golf course in their own yard that's approximately 1.4 acres in size. Unbeknownst to them, this new business use requires a conditional use permit in the R2 zoning district. Mega Mini Golf is designed for small groups and will have a maximum of 10 people per hour on site. The hours of operation will be 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. with tee times ending at 9 p.m. The course has interconnecting holes, meaning you never have to pick up your ball. There are other ways to play, such as foot golf and disc golf. The goal of the Mural family is to provide a family-friendly outing that is simple, but is a unique experience and that is easy to learn. Here we have a picture of Jeffrey and Daniel in front of their sign that is out on the property. This is also some information that I was able to get from their Facebook page. It tells you a little bit more about them, and just some of the advertisements that they have. It does show that the $10 per family or group with admission and kids with special needs do get in free. Here we have some photos of them playing. I believe this was taken last year. This photo was taken probably last year. No?
November.
November, okay.
2025.
Okay, so last fall. And here we have pictures of the nighttime golf. So they have done a lot with the property to make it fun and inviting. And it's interesting. It's something that I want to go play. So, consistency with the comprehensive plan, objective 8.2 of the 2023 comprehensive plan is to encourage the development of services and retail businesses. Approval of this conditional use permit will welcome a new service and business to the to the courthouse village. Consistency with the zoning ordinance. Again, section 74-702 provides for the standards that shall be considered by the Planning Commission and Board of Supervisors for each and every CUP application. All standards in this section have been addressed satisfactorily by the applicant. Public engagement. Notice of this hearing was published in the Farmville Herald on July 1st and July 8th. Adjoining property owners were sent notice on June 10th. And notice was posted on the public hearings page and the 3 bulletin boards in the county admin building on June 10th. Staff has received no comments for or against this application, although I do constantly see posts on Facebook about, people wanting to go and spend time here. So I've seen nothing but positive feedback. The Planning Commission held its public hearing for this application on May 18th and sends this application to the board with a unanimous recommendation of approval. It is the opinion of staff that the request promotes good zoning practice and that the location and intended use of the property are consistent with the zoning ordinance and comprehensive plan. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the CUP with the following conditions. Compliance with the site plan is required. A natural vegetative buffer shall be maintained and left in its natural state on all property lines, which is existing, so there's nothing that they need to do at this time. Septic well and electrical connections. The applicant will comply with all federal, state, and local regulations regarding the use of water, sewer, and electricity. Refuse disposal, a container of adequate size shall be provided and emptied when full, but in no event less than once per week, and it shall be screened from public view. Hours of operation are 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Noise shall be restricted between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. daily, and the noise shall be undetectable at all property lines. Lighting shall not constitute a nuisance. And the applicant shall be required to comply with all requirements of VDOT for safe entrance and exit to the site. This is one that we are still working on because of the location of the existing driveway. It is a little difficult to see when you're pulling out. One of the solutions that the applicant suggested and I agreed with is that when people are exiting the property, he put up a right turn only sign. So that when they're exiting, they can only make a right-hand turn out, and that way they could either go to Tar Wallet and make a left, or they could go up and turn around and come back to 45. The 2 times that I went to the property, trying to get out and make a left to go back to Route 60 is trying to walk across the street here to the post office. You take your life in your hands. So they were very considerate of my concern with that safety, and they did install that right turn only sign when exiting the property. Staff tried to get with VDOT a few times, that we had not been able to meet at the site as of yet to look at any additional stipulations or restrictions for that. So that's why staff put in here, be required to comply with all requirements of VDOT for safe entrance and exit. Community safety, this is one of the conditions that is in pretty much every other condition, CUP that we have. If the law enforcement is required to respond and restore order more than 2 times in 30 days, the board can revoke the CP. The applicant shall at all times comply with all federal, state, and local statutes. A confirmed violation at any time of any federal, state, or local statute shall constitute a violation of the CUP and shall terminate immediately, subject to the terms in section 11, which is the non-compliance. We do give options for remediation of any violations, the ability to try to work together if there's any violations. If any condition is determined to be invalid or unenforceable or unlawful, it will not affect the other conditions, which will remain and continue in full force and effect. And then lastly, we have the renewal condition, which again is with most CUPs that we have. The first is a year after approval, 2 years after the renewal, and then every 5 years thereafter. And that is all I have for you this evening. I'm happy to answer any questions. We do have all 3 of the applicants here this evening. Daniel, Jeffrey, and their father, Fred, are here. And I'm happy to help any way I can.
Any questions for Mr.
You just
Johnson?
did a wonderful job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll open the public hearing. Please remember that only residents of Cumberland County or individuals owning real property in Cumberland are permitted to speak during public hearings and public comment. Bernard Pond, sir.
My name is Bernard Pond, I'm in District 3. I'm like Stephanie, I think, I wanna go play too. I think it'd be a good thing, for the county and, I wanna go at night and, see all the lights and hit the balls all over the place. I think it's a good thing.
Thanks, sir. And next, Mrs. Shores, Dr. Shores.
I just want to say that family represents everything that's right with this county. Both of those young men came through the high school while I was there. And they unconditionally love and appreciate the people around them. And my daughter and I had the pleasure of playing golf there one evening, and I'm sorry we haven't been back. It was a blast, and they take their time, they explain the game, they guide you through it. But, and I told the entire high school at our award ceremony, my last year as principal, Jeffrey makes people a better person just by being there. And
Tell us a little bit about graduation.
yes, he is this is a wonderful family who gives of their time selflessly. And I probably don't have to ask you to consider their request, but I'm going to ask anyhow respectfully. Thank you.
Thank you. And if no other citizens decided to speak, we'll now close the public hearing. We'll now open the floor for board member discussion. I do have one comment on the application. It's one word, outstanding. So congratulations.
Thanks.
Any board member comments?
About 6 years ago, my wife wanted an above ground pool. I just want to say, Dr. Shore said they're a testimony to everything that's right with Cumberland County, but also with what's right with Cumberland County Public Schools. And I just find it fascinating that you young men started a business based on a project that you had to do at school. And kudos to you. I mean, that's, what more could you ask for from our school system? And I too echo the sentiment here with Stephanie and Mr. Pons, that I can't wait to get my 2 kids out there to play some Mega Mini golf. So great job, guys. Thank you.
And with that, do we have a motion to approve approve Cup 2601 Mega Mini Golf as presented.
So moved.
Second.
No, you are.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree?
Aye.
Mr. Stimpson?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Next on the item, actually last item, budget transfers and supplements for fiscal year 26. Ms. Jones.
I really hate to follow that up, but here we go.
It's hard-
I'll make this
very hard
look
act to
easy.
follow.
It is very tough. I'll have to talk to Tiana about where she puts things. As county staff prepares for finalizing the FY 26 financial statements and closing out the year, the finance department is requesting the board of supervisors approve the following budget transfers and supplements for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. The budget transfers total $343,082. The budget supplements total $952,550. And I am pleased to say that of the $952,500, $14,812 is grant funds awarded to the county for various departments. But
There we go. At this time, we'll now open the public hearing. Or if there's no one signed up to speak during the public hearing, so we'll quickly close the public hearing. We'll now open the floor for board member discussions. Any discussions? Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree? Mr. Stimpson?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Good job. And as we get close to the end, this is the public comment period. Only individuals signed up for the public comment period would be allowed to speak when called upon by the chairman. Members of the board of supervisors or county officials will not respond directly to questions asked during the public comment period. Instead, answers will be directed to the county administrator at a later date. Please provide contact information on the sign-up sheet for all proper response. First on the list is Betty Myers.
Good evening, my name is Betty Myers, I live at 577 Deep Run Road. The first thing I'd like to say is I've listened to all these budget adjustments and so on and so forth here this evening, and I was really shocked to learn that Darren Hurley is a part-time employee. From what I see, he does a lot of work around here. And I really feel that if there's any way we can give him some extra help, some extra money, he would greatly appreciate it. I know I would. My second thing is, whenever you look at the budget that was approved by the state just recently, you probably will notice that there's $10.6 million that was budgeted for Chesterfield County to help clean up the Shoesmith landfill. And that's a real big mess. Because it's my understanding the wall of that landfill is coal ash, very dangerous. So as you're looking at what you're doing, I don't think you want Cumberland County to be a Chesterfield County. And I know you all think you did the final decision on the landfill, but it's never too late to change your mind. The planning commission, the planning for water has to be a concern to people, not only in this county, but all over. Whenever you look at what's going on around us, we have data centers coming into Gushon, we have a data center being planned for, Prince Edward. Fluviana County has data centers. In addition to that, we're looking at all these belly link and everything else coming through here, landfills, even, solar farms use power and can affect what our water. And I've heard said that at some point in time, water is going to be a precious commodity. And if we keep going at the rate we're going, it's going to be. And I don't think any of us can afford to pay $100 a gallon of water. So I think now's the time to be planning for the future. And it's to really be proactive and not reactive. And right now, I see that many of these counties are looking at the dollar sign, not the long-term effects of what you're doing. Thank you.
Next is Dan, is it PEMPEL.
Dan Pepper, 31 Echo Lane, Farmville, Virginia. I'm calling, making comments about the Dominion Power new plant that's putting up in Collegeville. And, they had two information, Dominion up at Cartersville, but nothing anywhere else in the county. I don't know why, but, we're in the southern end, we never find out what's going on until after it happens. And I'm worried about the amount of water they wanna use. Was that before when you mentioned Dominion, was that for the power plant? 2 million gallons a day? Well, I went to the first meeting, it was supposed to be gonna be 500,000. And I'd like to know, how much are you gonna pay a gallon for water? Probably nothing. And the pipeline that you're gonna need, who's paying for that? Probably getting it from Cobb's Creek. And if they're getting 2 million gallons a day, that's basically 28% of your water allotment for the whole county. That's ridiculous. They don't need a plant that's gonna have 750,000 homes. And they only get 1,100, I think it's 1,100 homes here. Total waste of all money and bad investment. And the other thing is the towers, if Prince Edward has a data processing plant, which they wanna put in. Those towers are as high as the Statue of Liberty, and they take, evidently they're trying to get around the rules for putting the power lines in. They wanna use the existing power lines, which is just a telephone pole. These things are so big, you have to have one every quarter of a mile. And they're high and they're ugly. I was coming back on 81 the other day, you could see them all over the place coming down 81. And Buckingham County has signs all over Route 20, they don't want any of the towers. So I think you better start looking into it, on where these towers, how are they gonna run the power lines, where they're gonna run them to. Because Goochland wants a data center, so are they gonna run the power over to them also? So it just don't make sense, and I think you gotta do a lot more homework. Okay, that's my 2 cents.
Next is April Morris.
Sorry, I have to have an assistant tonight. I apologize if anybody smells smoke, we just left a fire right before we came, so. Didn't have time to change or anything. Part of our life as firefighters, volunteer firefighters, is we miss meals, we miss sleep, we miss time away from our families. Also, we can help strangers in their emergencies. But that's what we signed up to do. So, we would like to welcome our newly appointed administrator. We look forward to working with her. Update on our events. We had our fish fry, did very well. We actually had a good turnout. We will be doing that again. He handed you all our personal invitation for the helipad. We will be having an actual ribbon cutting ceremony, and there will be a few refreshments afterwards. A lot of important people have been personally invited, so might get to rub some elbows with some big wigs. Our next event, which we are all looking forward to, is our carnival, July 25th from 10 to 3. Brian Hamlet will be in the dunk tank as well as Darren Hurley, and our chief, Travis Pleasance. We were supposed to have a deputy, who is on our, part of our department, but he is now scheduled to work. So, instead of having 4 rotating, we're only gonna have 3 unless y'all have connections and can get us a deputy in there. Let's see. Also, we have, for the carnival, there'll be 4 food trucks. I can never remember the one. It'll be Double D's. What is it? Well, yeah, Pippi's, Hot Dog, Fat Belly Brothers. I can never remember that one, sorry. And then there'll be a snow cone lady. So there'll be 4 food vendors as well as the games for the kids. And if any of you want to come and run a game, that would be fantastic. But I encourage all of you to come, make an appearance, because this is not just Cartersville, the entire county is coming. So everybody wants to dunk people. Oh, sorry. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next is Gina Martin.
See if y'all can hear me, because we haven't heard any people today. Gina Martin, 518 Cartersville, District 2. I'm here, first of all, for the animal control presentation. As of June the 26th, year-to-date intake has been 206 animals within the community. Cumberland Animal Care Control has taken a total of 49 animals for the month of June the 26th of 2026. 31 dogs, and we actually had some cats to have to be taken in. We'd like to see if we could get permission or talk about permission to be able to handle more cats. We have rolling cat seasons, and it would be easier if they could get more than what they're allowed currently. With the intake of 49 animals, a live outtake ratio of 77.55%. Of those 49 animals, 9 dogs, 1 cat were reclaimed by their rightful owners. I always like to see the owners step forward and get their babies. 1 dog and 8 cats were adopted. 12 dogs, 7 cats were transferred to our other reputable rescue agencies. These agencies are godsends to Cumberland County. We miss Patty too with her connections. Cumberland Animal Control received a total of 100 calls for service ranging from stray animals, nuisance and aggressive animals, cruelty and welfare checks, and numerous active seizures. Lead Officer Mike Davis and Officer Steve Davis and Jesse Camacho, I just cannot, have continued to increase response time and contact with community members requesting assistance. Adoption applications have been streamlined, along with a thorough background checks of interested parties, preventing prior offenders of any animal cruelty and inadequate care from adopting again. And we need to really watch that. New hire, Shelter Director Kay Martin, continues to adapt and learn processes quickly, screening and placing animals in reputable rescue agencies, trusted homes to the community, and community operations. As of June 26th, marketing increase for Cumberland Animal Control and Shelter social media has increased 12.7 thousand views a day. So, 3 times in the month of June, they were totally full capacity. July, as of today, they are full capacity with 1 open kennel. Professional pictures will be taken pro bono Friday of all the animals, and this lady is doing it free. So we're looking forward to, they're gonna start at 9:30. If anybody wants to come out and have their picture taken with an animal, we'd appreciate it. Okay, now on the other serious stuff. I'm gonna really push for this EMS and fire department. Thank you so much. I think we heard they approved another $10,000 to them tonight. Thank you.
Yes,
And I didn't even have to speak first. So anything we can do for them, these are volunteer. They protect the citizens and their properties. They need our help, they need our support. Oh,
That's it.
Thank you. Next is Don, is it Pinnock? Pinnock? Yes, sir. Crowder Road.
I appreciate you allowing me to speak today. I live on Crowder Road. Crowder Road is a road that has been on and off the to be paved list for over 30 years. Our representative, my understanding is Mr. Stimson. I request that you help us. This has been going on for quite a while. There are 3 homes on Crowder Road with people here tonight representing this effort. So we request to be moved up for the next fiscal year to be paved in the 2027, 2028 year. We ask for your support in this. It has been going on long enough. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, sir. Next is Norman Patterson.
Hello, good evening, board members and everybody. I'm also here once again to ask that you please move us up for the next fiscal year, since we were not allotted this fiscal year. I would greatly appreciate it, since I had a board member deliver or email you guys a letter stating that we were on the list. Unfortunately, all the records have been expunged because I've been looking and looking. So VDOT has expunged those records because that's what they do per year. But a reputable board member who's sworn in knows about it. And if Mr. Warmack was here, he also would have wrote a letter as well. So I only feel like it's fair. And as you prayed, I don't want to bring back, but as you prayed for wisdom, it would be the fairest thing to do for the residents of Crowder Road who has endured the dust, the ruts, the culverts that are overran, and cows who soak up in mud and muck, and the road is eventually, with the storms that are coming in near future, will eventually erode the road, and the potholes and the runoff in our field that VDOT is supposed to get up and reseed it for us, which would be great. I'm waiting on that, but anyway, I'll keep on that. But I am personally requesting that we be moved up for the next fiscal year. And you'll see me in March. Thank you very much for your time and listening to me as well. Thanks.
That ends the public comment period. Last item we have is chairman and board member comments. And this is through the board, would sir?
I just wanted to tell each and every one of you, thank you for being here tonight, for taking part of this meeting, your meeting. Conducted on your behalf. Being here shows you care. And I love seeing new faces in here. And I want to put another plug in for the Cartersville Carnival. It's a good way to support your local fire department. Obviously, we give them a little bit of funding each year. It's nowhere near what they need to operate a fire station. Insurances, power bills, repairs, new equipment, and they make it happen. They are a huge asset to this county. They save the taxpayers a ton every year. We had to have a paid staff. It would be in the millions of dollars to fund them. $2 a ball, three balls for $5, or for $20 you can push the lever and dunk them. So I'd love to see a bunch of people there coughing up $20 donation for the Cartersville Volunteer Fire Department to drench me that day. I'm sure it'll be hot. So But thank you, God bless, and safe travels home tonight.
Can I pay my $20 now? I wanna pay my $20 now.
Not just that lady in the back.
And now the junction.
We can just video. You might make 30,000 before you get to the door. No, thanks everyone for coming. There were some tough decisions tonight, and that's, I do want to say that I do very much support the fire department and all the fire departments, and will continue to. My vote is a little bit different because the fire department wasn't part of the vote. Okay, that was something that was totally unrelated. So some people call those hostage votes. That's a little bit critical. But things, when we get to difficult things like this, we do need to think outside the box of where we can cut expenses, what we can do to get more grants, what we can do to help the county. I think it's a good collective approach. I thank Mr. Hurley, I thank Dr. Shores for all they have done along all those lines. An incredible amount of money has been raised over the past 2 to 3 years. I mean, millions of dollars. And we deeply thank you for that. So you deserve everything you get. Try to figure out how to get you more. And especially Mr. Hurley, congratulations on the radios. I think that's, I have to admit, it's a pet peeve of mine in fire departments not having proper communications. Very, very dangerous environment to be in. So I'm very happy to hear that. So with that, turn it over to Ms. Tyree.
Good evening. It is, as they stated, it is hard to make some of these decisions, but we try our best to look out for everyone as a whole. Our children are our future. Being an educator myself, I understand how that works. And it's a shame that staff salary is at the mercy of the county, not just based on your performance, like most jobs are. So I do understand that even though we are unlimited with our funds, but we ask that as we try to help each and every organization, that the citizens try to help us come up with businesses to bring here to the county. We can't keep knocking everything and turning things away when we need money. Do we need to put our citizens first, their safety? Yes, of course we do, and we definitely will consider that. But at the same time, when we're sitting up here and people are asking for money because they need it, it's hard to say no. We try our best to put ourselves in everyone else's shoes. We try to treat people the way we want to be treated. If it was us who was asking for funds or asking that our road be paid, it's a lot to consider. Some hard decisions to be made sitting up here, and I've been dropping my head and crossing my hands and toes tonight in regards to some of these decisions. But overall, we have to do what's best for the county as a whole. So we ask and pray that you all bear with us, continue to work with us, and not work against us, because we can gain so much more when we work together. And thank you all for coming out tonight.
And I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And again, some of the projects, young men, girls did fantastic. And it's indicative of the value that Cumberland education, the school system produces. And we're here locally to see the outcome. Thank you very much.
Just want to thank you for coming out.
And with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
And I want to say something too. I failed to mention this, but excited to work with Ms. Medina. Summer, welcome to Cumberland County.
Yes.
I think you'll find that there's going to be a lot of friendly faces. You're going to have a wonderful staff to work with. And your current interim county administrator, Jennifer Cruz. Just welcome and look forward to great things.
Yeah, we should mention Ms. Medina's start date is August 3rd. So thank you for being here tonight.
Mr. Dick, can you stand up, please?
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I just want to introduce her mom and her husband, we're here with her.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hamlet?
Aye.
Mr. Newman?
Aye.
Ms. Tyree?
Aye.
Mr. Spencer?
Aye.
Mr. Song?
April. April. Here. Come.
Say to you.
I follow you on Facebook. I would be happy to be a meeting customer. All right. Checking it out, yeah.